Hi guys, welcome back to Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about books. Two books. I have a sci-fi and cozy mystery, contemporary cozy mystery. That took me a minute. I don't know why. It's been a horrible week. Okay, let's just get started. Let's talk about the cozy mystery. Now this was published 2025 and it's 320 pages, 4 stars for me. Cozy contemporary mystery. It is Crime Rangoon, Noodle Shop Mystery Book 12 by Vivien Chien. You guys know I have been loving the Noodle Shop series. I've been really devouring. I think I'm up to date now. I think the new book comes out August, so I'm up to date. Oh. Okay, so let's get the synopsis. Cindy Kwan, owner of the Asian Village's bookshop, The Modern Scroll, is privileged to host best-selling author Charlene Chen for signing in honor of the author's latest book, The Mystery of General So. Lana Lee is equally excited for the appearance of her favorite author, and even more so when Cindy asks her to be Charlene's handler for the event. Taking her duties very seriously, Lana stays by the side of the prominent author to assist her in anything that she might need. With a line out the door and stretched through the plaza, Cindy is overjoyed at what a success this is for her shop. But unfortunately for Cindy, her success comes with a price. The author is found dead in the mystery aisle, clutching a copy of her own book. The Asian village is cursed, I swear. Lana Lee's boyfriend, Detective Adam Trudeau, is charged with leading the case investigation, but finds himself overwhelmed when he realizes just how much of the author's book is mimicked in reality. For the first time in their relationship, Adam calls on Lana to partner with him to help solve the case. The couple must work through the novel to outwit the murderer, stay one step ahead, and beat the die-hard fan to the last chapter. So like I said, 4 stars. I had a great time with this. The general idea of this series is Lana Lee is the manager of her family's noodle shop in this Asian village in Cleveland, Ohio, which every time they describe the Asian village, I'm like, oh, I wish we had something like that here. It sounds so gorgeous. It sounds like a perfect place, like an outdoor shopping center, and like so gorgeous. They have a koi pond, they have a bridge, they have paper lanterns everywhere. Like imagine just going there and reading a book, like having a hot drink. For me it would be coffee, but like tea too is a thing, I guess. Anyway, to sit by that koi pond and like read. Oh, and all of the shops have, you know, cute names like The Modern Scroll, things like that. Just it's so cute. I'm like, I mean, we can't have this here because it's way too hot here and the wind would absolutely destroy it. But every time I read this book, I'm like, oh man, I wish. She is managing her family's noodle shop and stumbles upon murder. She's an amateur sleuth, and we love ourselves some Lana Lee. And in this book, it's great because usually she gets kidnapped by the murderer and then she figures it out. But this time she figured it out seconds before the murderer tried to grab her. So go Lana. You are a learning girl and I love it. Lana's personality is so great. I just really like her. She is very relatable. It's just, she feels like I know her in real life, this kind of personality. She's a best friend and a roommate, Megan, since college. I love their friendship. Kimmy is her childhood best friend that works in the village. Her family has a movie rental DVD shop. It's not doing too well because, you know, streaming and everything. So Lana's trying to help them diversify with like accessories like t-shirts and mugs and things like that. And usually I love Kimmy, and the last 2 books I found Kimmy kind of overbearing, like too much, like too annoying. And Kimmy is tiny but like fierce, and I adore that because I like Kimmy. Like when she first showed up, I liked her. Last 2 books I think she was annoying. This book though, she's back to being like fierce and endearing. Sometimes she puts her foot in it, but like she doesn't mean it. You know what I mean? It's like she's not doing it on purpose. And when someone points out to her, she's like, oh shoot, I should go apologize, you know? So it's back to the Kimmy I really liked. I don't know why the last 2 books she annoyed me, but it's back to fierce and endearing, right? Megan is keeping secrets. I know, she's been acting weird for a while now, and she's keeping secrets from Lana, which is crazy because they share everything. So that's, if you don't know, that's like a big deal, okay? In the last book, I was kind of bummed because there wasn't a lot of scenes of Adam and Lana, and I really like their relationship. And as someone who primarily reads romance novels, it's kind of fun with these cozy mysteries. Like, you root for this couple and they get together, and that's not the end, right? Like, you kind of see them day to day, not like slice in the life or anything like that, but the story continues because it's about mystery, not their romance. So you see them in relationships, you know, the ups and downs, and I enjoy that, you know, especially since romance tends to, like, they get together and it's fade to black, right? End of story. But so this is fun for me. And in this book, I like that there was more time with Adam and Lana as a couple. I didn't feel, for me, it did not feel like that overshadowed the mystery at all. I thought it was a really good balance, personally. The last book was not my favorite of the series. I think I gave it 3 or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but considering like 3 is like the lowest I've given the series on book 12, you know, that, I think that statement stands, right? That speaks for itself. So I thought it was a great balance because I like seeing her and Adam, and in this, Adam's like, okay, this guy is copying the mystery book that the author wrote. And when when Lana explains the plot and the ending of the mystery book of the author, I was like, well, that sucks. Because in the book, the killer gets away with it. And I was like, ew. Ew. Like, I mean, that happens all the time in real life. Books, you're supposed to catch the killer unless it's like they're going to be a returning bad guy, I guess. But I was like, ooh, I would not have liked that book. That's what I was thinking. In this, there's a lot of characters that we meet for the second or first time because of book signing. Lately, in the last couple books, there's been a book group that meets at the Noodle shop, and Lana's become friends with the two, what she calls alphas, the 2 main girls of that lead the book club. And then there's a couple characters come in. I will say there's a lot of red herrings in this book, like a lot. I was kind of surprised by how many, but then I thought, well, yeah, because she's working with Adam this time, and like, I'm sure in real investigations, there's a lot of like dead end suspects, right? You have to go through. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's cool. I kind of, who it turned out to be, I was surprised because I thought that was a red herring and I thought it was someone else. So I really was very excited that I didn't guess the killer this time. I didn't guess correctly. I know it's weird that I'm really excited when I don't guess correctly, but I guess correctly too many times. So that's I really like that. The mystery part I think was really fun. The reason the killer had for following the book exactly was a little weird. I don't know if that line, to me, that didn't really make a lot of sense, but the character seemed to think it made a lot of sense. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, if I was gonna commit a murder, it wouldn't be that, but sure. Or for that reason, but sure, you know. I guess I'm not a sociopath. Hey, good news. Anyway, I'm as surprised as you are. So, the mystery was great. I loved that there was more Adam and Lana couple time, especially since they're working together. You know, the PI makes like cameo, which I liked. Lydia, I wonder if she's going to be like a spin-off or something, because we see her a couple times. I should actually check this author's library, because maybe she's already written those and I just have no idea. Sometimes I get, like, for writers, I get fixated on their one series and it takes me like a minute to like look around in their writing history to see something else, but that's like a me thing. Anyway, this is 4-star. I had a blast. I can't wait to the next one. I know I usually leave my mysteries to the end because I don't want to really talk about anything, give anything away. But the other book, the sci-fi book I'm going to talk about, is like a brand new release, and I'm going to talk about it even less because I don't want to spoil it. Hence why I did that. Anyway, so the next one is the sci-fi, The Last Contract of Isako, is that? By Fonda, published 2026, and it's 512 pages, and it was a 5-star, baby. 5-star. So I've been really happy with the book of the month picks I've been getting. And no, I pay for the subscription. I paid for the subscription myself. This is not sponsored. I freaking wish it's not. It's just little old me. The thing, what I like about it is you can like scroll down if you're interested in a book. You can scroll down and see what the people at book of the month, like their thoughts on it. And so far that has not steered me wrong. This is a 5-star, Fonda Lee, of course. And yeah, the book of the month, they tend to be just plain, but this cover also is, I freaking love it. I know it's very like simplistic, but her red silhouette of her coat, her hair with like the dome and the building inside, like it's gorgeous. And it's like a snowstorm that continues, but because of the color, the brownish, brownish. What's that color? It's not brown, not purple, maroon. The maroon color. Brain, just a little bit longer. I just need you for a couple more minutes. Come on. The maroon color makes, at least when I see it, makes me uneasy. Like it's not like a beautiful snowfall. Like there's danger, like chemicals and stuff. Which, yeah, the synopsis. Live by the code, die by the knife. On the merciless planet of Aquilo, where your job determines your worth, legendary swordswoman Isako commands the highest price. But every legend must come to an end. When her longtime client unexpectedly retires and she plans to walk out into Aquilo's frozen wasteland with her head held high and her family enriched by her death. But when she's offered a final mission, she can't refuse, especially when she realizes who lies at the center. Marktum, her last and worst apprentice, who somehow made his way to the top. As she thrusts into a world of corporate espionage shadowy secrets, what she uncovers could forever change humanity's existence among the stars. So, as you heard, Aquilo, I'm probably not even remotely pronouncing how the author intended, is a planet, a wasteland, and humanity, this colony, has survived under an oxygen like airfield. It's like a bubble around them, and because they're cut off from Earth for so long, called the Great Silence, and this is like hundreds of years, the heads are about to celebrate 300 years, I think. It's like that. So for a while they haven't heard anything from Earth or gotten any kind of supplies from Earth, so they call it the Great Silence. So they've been very they have to they can only rely on themselves, and because there's no waste, right? So everybody has a job that helps the colony, right? So once that job's over, you retire, and retiring, as the synopsis says, I wasn't gonna tell you guys what it was, but I forgot the synopsis did. They walk into the desolate wasteland and die, right? And that is considered honorable, and you are given like a plaque of remembrance, and your family gets like a severance package, and money, things like that. And there, as humanity, there are two groups: those who are looking to the stars and want to reunite with Earth, and those who want to terraform the planet and make it theirs. And because human, they made survival political, which some parts of this book were so real. I honestly, while reading it, I couldn't watch the news because it was too many of the things I equated to what's going on now. As any good writer would do. Fonda Lee is phenomenal. And the thing is, these characters, oh God, these characters. She's one, I feel like, because sometimes I think that there are writers that are phenomenal character writers or phenomenal world builders. I think it's rare when an author, I shouldn't be, but I think it's rare when an author is both phenomenal at both. And I always have thought Fonda Lee is phenomenal at both, right? Because the moment you're thrust into this world, it's like, yeah, obviously, I get it. It's like I've known this world all along, because it's so grounded in ooh, in what humanity would do, right? And her characters are, Fonda Lee has such an incredible talent. Did I mention 5 stars? I probably did. Of making characters these complex patchwork of morals and reasons and honor, and you're never sure if you like them or not, because most of the time these are bad people who've done bad things, right? And even Isako, she's 50, she's a badass, and I instantly like, well, she's the hero of the story, but she's done horrible things. Like, sure, that was her job, but her job was doing horrible things. It's basically whatever her executive, her client told her to do. So there's a lot of wet work, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I think we all know what that means. Can't really say it, but I think we know it. There's a lot of corporate espionage. There's a lot of spying, a lot of crippling competitors with one way or the other, right? So it's not, and a bodyguard all wrapped in one. So it's not, she's not a, like, even now I can't say she's a good person or a bad person, right? Because we're in our head for the first third of the book, and she's so complicated. And in the beginning, she's so sure of her life, of what she's done to this point, of her duty, of her honor. And you really, like, if you sit back for a minute, you're like, wow, she's really been entrenched in this kind of brainwashing. They all have, you know what I mean? Because if you take an outside view of this world, it's a horrible world. Like, there's so much corruption, and you're like, wow. And the corruption gets uncovered more and more as you read, and it gets worse. It gets worse. Because, you know, they find it honorable to walk out into the waste, to the vastness, I believe they call it, and when they get to a certain age, right? And I find that horrifying from the beginning, you know? So we're already starting like, whoa, you know? But you get sucked into this world, and you start to come around to a way of thinking like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. This is part of the way out here in the vastness, because, you know, you guys are separated from Earth, you have no allies, and, you know, the corporations, which are the people that politicized terraforming or star exploration to get more, you know, minerals, gases, so oxygen, you know, they're the ones that, you know, of course, the wealthy, right? Of course. Oh God, this book was so good. And because of that, everyone, all the working class people for 300 years have been taught that's normal, right? So if you take a step back, you're like, oh, that's so messed up. That's so messed up. And really, like, in careers, you have to be like, oh, what's going to benefit everyone else? And you can get fired like that. And if you're fired, your family doesn't get anything. You have to go out into the vastness no matter what. Like, you could have been 30 and fired, and like, it's a really horrible world. Now, she finds out her apprentice is working for, well, okay, so the two things, like I said, terraformers and the reunionists, right? People who want to get back in contact with Earth, and people who want to terraform the planet. I think you should do both, but what am I? You know, that's just common sense, and I'm not greedy for all this freaking power. Even within those, there are factions, right? So she works for her client that she likes. He seems like a nice man, but knowing Fonda Lee, there's probably a lot of horrible things underneath that. Man, he lost a civil war with the other reunionists, the other people that want to get contact with Earth, because they're infighting as well, right? So the winner basically forces Isako's hand to go after the head terraformer, right? And his the person, his bodyguard, his spy, his everything, is her former apprentice, first name Dragonfly, second name Martin. Marty for short, nickname. I did like how all their names their first names kind of had to do with nature somehow. You know, it's really well explained. The lore in this book is phenomenal. I loved it so much. So, you know, she has to go figure out what the hell's going on, and she has to stop, because on top of the CEOs, there are the executives, and the executives kind of control everything. Like, the partners control everything, and the executive is like, I want to say president, but seems more like king that controls them. You know what I mean? So the terraformer, he is going to be elected to the partners, and her job is to stop it at all costs and not get caught. You know, she bumps into her best friend, and his life has completely taken a different turn, and he's become something that Isako finds horrible, that she would never imagine, right? But the freedom that he has, you know? So it's interesting, the moment, even him, great character, best friends with Isako, like, sweet, like, you know, he seems really great. He's done horrible things, right? So when you start to understand Isoko's point of view and how this is it, and then she's gonna go into the vastness, all of a sudden she starts to question it, and I'm like, mind fuck, what's happening? Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, the moment I start to come around, all right, let's go. The first third is in her point of view. The second part is in Dragonfly's point of view. And the third part is like, yeah. I did not think I would like Dragonfly, but I think out of the whole book, his story got me the most. I felt the most sympathy for him. Which I shouldn't have been surprised. Fonda makes you like horrible people. And his client, the one that Isako has to stop, he does really wonderful things, and then all of a sudden they're for selfish, but then like he's selfish, he does it for selfish reasons, and then it like keeps flipping back and forth. And I was like, you have no idea if he's a good person, bad person. And I'm like, he's both. He does kind things for selfish reasons. So not really a good person, but to everybody on the outside that doesn't know why he's doing it, thinks he's a good person. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Fonda, effing Lee, every time. You always get me to like root for these horrible people. And I didn't think I would care at all about Dragonfly, but he's the one I ended up caring most about in this book. Now, the ending was perfect for the story Fonda Lee is telling. I'm not going to say anything else. It was perfect for the story Fonda Lee is telling. And that's it. I'm not going to say anything else because the third act, oh, chef's kiss. Oh, it's perfect. It made you feel everything. So, at least it made me feel emotions. Gross. But here we are. Okay, I'm gonna go because I feel like my brain is shutting down. I can feel the brain fog coming in. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.